Hold on. All right. This guy landed a multi-million-dollar client contract. We are going to dive into exactly how he did this and more. Let's see. What's going on, guys? Dino Gomez here. Welcome back to another episode of the Crazy Good Marketing Podcast, where we sit down with industry influencers and have them reveal a crazy good marketing tip that has worked for them that can also work for you to grow your business. Today, I am sitting down with a good buddy, a fella that's a ton of fun and that just landed recently a multi-million-dollar client contract. I'm sitting down with Todd Schuchart. Todd, buddy, what is going on? How are you doing?
What's cooking, D? Yeah, doing good, man.
Oh, he's all casual and calm and relaxed. I love it. I love it. So I'm excited to chat with you, dude. Thanks for your time right away. Let's dive right into this. What is going on here? Because you and I, we talk on the regular, we catch up with each other, and you landed a multi-million-dollar client contract. How in the world did you do this? Tell us all the things. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I don't even know where to start. It's a fun, crazy, wild story that you never thought would happen, right? It's just one of those. It's one of those things. Dove into a niche and unlike others, really just immersed myself in it, right? It wasn't the traditional, let's look at a niche and see what we can, what looks sizzly. It was actually, I didn't even find the niche. It found me, if you really want to know. It just kind of snuck up and was like, hey. And I, at the time I was at one of those junctures in your life where you're like, maybe I'll go sell cars, you know what I mean? Or, there's this. So it popped itself up at the right time. And I don't know why, D. I just dove in, didn't dip my toe in the water, nothing, just full into the pool in middle of December. And, we'll float to the top and figure it out when we get there. Networking. I networked my way into this one. It was really interesting, a little bit different of an approach, but yeah.
I'm excited to dive into that. We're also going to talk about, right, like how to find a niche like this. And there was some music in between the notes there from what you just said, Todd, in terms of like you really immersed yourself in this niche. Obviously we're not going to talk about what your niche is, but what do you mean by like I immersed myself in this niche? And then and then we'll also talk about, for everybody here, right, we're going to talk about like how Todd absolutely is dominating this niche and changed the game with this contract a little bit. So, but yeah, what do you mean by immersed yourself in that niche? What does that mean to you there?
Yeah, this was my aha, right? We all have that transcending aha moment, and I've been selling for a long time, so it's kind of hard to have those light bulb moments after a while. But this one was just, the universe was lined up, man. When I've looked at niches, and I've gone into all kinds, right? I've done the normal path. We all have gone after a dentist. We all have gone after a chiropractor, and so is everybody else and their grandmother, and we're getting our teeth kicked in and we're not making any headway. And if we land one, we're worried about chargebacks. You know what I mean? It's just all this stuff. And I didn't become a chiropractor, right? I didn't become a dentist. I don't really know their business, right? And to do the outside research, you're just dangerous enough to really mess it up. Right.
That was good right there. Dangerous enough to mess it up. So you're talking about, okay, like if you really want to land a big client or really take over an entire market, it sounds like what you're basically saying is, hey, you need to know their business model, their industry as good as they know it. Is that essentially right? Maybe even better.
Yeah, 100%. You got to do it. You got to do it. Right. This is Chevy Chase, Be the Ball, right? Caddyshack. No. You got to do it. You got to jump in and you've got to just absolutely immerse yourself. So the first thing I did in this particular niche is I started selling it. Not me, not my ads, not the leads. I actually started to sell the products.
See, that right there is massive. Did you guys hear that? Todd, right? One of the first things he started doing was selling the product, right? If you want to take over, what Todd is saying here, if you want to take over an industry and a niche and land a nationwide type of contract worth multi millions like Todd just did. First thing you did was begin selling the product. What did selling the product help you out with? How did that help you with things?
There's a few things. One is the biggest is street credit. Right. So I am you, right? Like I understand what it's like for you to get a lead in and how hard it is to convert, or how easy it is to convert that lead, or where the gaps are in market. So marketing isn't about marketing anymore, right? Like everybody listening to this can generate a lead. We can all generate a lead. That is such a surfaceable thing. But you know, the movement now, and the reason that the Guerrilla Marketer, which is what we all are, right? We're not these major agencies, but the reason the Guerrilla Marketer brings value is because we can go beyond the lead. We go beyond the click. We go beyond the phone call, and we can get into the conversion, right? And how we can nurture and maximize ROI on that return. So somebody said to me, these leads suck. And I went, oh, these leads don't suck. I know they don't suck because of the way that we do it, right? So I said, forget it. I'm going to sell it. And developed an entire system around that lead, the product, the way that they go to market, how we nurture that lead. And what we learned, Dino, was not just how to get the lead into the system, but how to get the sales conversation started. And some very interesting things have come out of this that are just, I never saw. And I've been selling forever, but I never saw some of these things kind of coming, right, as we went through the process. So that immersion is the reason that it happened. The immersion is the reason that we ended up with the client that we did. The immersion is the reason we have the partnership that we ended up with, right? It's all about, and I'm going to tell you right now, you know, that there's a book out there. If you lost it all, what would you do tomorrow to get it all back? I'll tell you exactly what I would do. I would immerse myself in something. I would figure out the lead nurturing process, and I would just absolutely be the ball. What?
What's that's right there? That's on point right there. So the very first thing you did, right, was you started selling the product. By selling the product, you could start to understand maybe what's missing in marketing, or how the product needs to actually change itself to overcome maybe objections or concerns that were coming through on sales calls. And then you mastered the sales process so that from a marketing perspective, you know that this process works. These leads are high quality. You can convert them, all these different things. And then you went and you were able to go form a partnership with a very large established brand nationwide. And essentially you're like, well, I know how to generate the leads. I know what the product needs to be and how to present it, how to pitch it. And I've even am selling this so that they cannot have any pushback on like the lead quality or anything else. That is on point, and that is brilliant. You became the ball. So for somebody out there that's like, how do I land a really big client contract deal, whether you're in the coaching space, agency space, what would your piece of advice be here for them in terms of like, this is the approach?
Yeah. So, you know, I wouldn't be the ball. I'd be the niche. And I know that's vague, but let's say personal trainers, right? Let's just take that for an example. There are 1 million personal training certification programs out there. Are you certified? Do you know what it takes to become a personal trainer? Yeah, rhetorical.
I was like, I'm not that buff, Todd. Come on.
But no, it really comes down to that. You know, it's what certifications are out there that you can get to become immersed in the niche, right? What can you do to work with the leads that you're generating? How do you even know your leads are good? If someone tells you your leads suck, they might be right, because you don't know, right? Unless you're the one taking the calls and really figuring out and think about the optimization opportunity there.
Right.
Man, these leads are horrible. I got to work on my messaging. Or man, they're coming in thinking that they're, you know, that I'm going to, you know, cut their hair, but I'm a personal trainer. There's a miss, right? We got to fit. And hopefully it's not that drastic for anybody, but those are the things.
Slight messaging problem there.
yeah. Your targeting's off by about, but
a little bit,
a touch. That's really it. Just dive in, right? And then, you know, there's some interesting things. You get into some of these niches now, and they're requiring people to have licenses to even generate leads. We're seeing that happen more and more as regulation and privacy issues are becoming more of an issue. So getting certified into something is the reason that we're talking about what we're talking about today. If it hadn't been for that, I'd still be hawking leads.
Gotcha. So Todd is talking about changing the game here, guys. Drop a comment so far if you've had a big takeaway here. But, right, immerse yourself in the industry or niche, sell the actual product and or service so you can better understand how to upgrade the marketing and so forth, and refine, right? Refine the entire process, the messaging, the marketing, the follow-up, proof of sales, everything. And you've created this entire, essentially, business almost. And then when you went to go to a bigger company that already had the fulfillment at this scale, and you're like, look at this amazing system I built, and then here you are, multi-million-dollar contract, and a lot of incredible things happening. Super, super helpful, my man. We're gonna end on one killer question for you, which is, at the time of this recording, right? We're sitting here in May of 2022, end of May. Where do you think the industry is headed in the next 5 years, and in particular, the online marketing space? Where do you see that the industry headed in your opinion here?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, it's a hard one too.
Actually, you know what? I've got a different view today, right? I don't know that I could have picked that or answered that 8 months ago. But so I started in major media, right? And back in the day, we sold impressions. And then we went from impressions to the click, right? Was the ad even good? And then the click didn't mean conversion, right? It meant click. And I don't know about you, last time I went to go buy gas for $40 a gallon, they didn't take clicks in place of cash. So there was no value there, right? And then we had to start kind of paying attention to conversion, but we were afraid to, because if the conversion wasn't there, then we couldn't justify the ad spend, we'd lose the client. And major media still does that. So the guys we compete against, the big houses, right? The major holding companies, we compete against that. The fear of they still don't measure conversion. So the way that it's moving really truly is not just the lead is such the beginning of that process. You've got to look at taking that lead all the way through to revenue. And if you're afraid to do that, then you're not ready to take it to the street. So my opinion, where we're heading, platform changes, TikTok is the new revolution. And, you know what I mean? There's always going to be a platform migration, right? Where we had, what did we have before? MySpace. And then, where's that, right? I don't even know what happened to Tom. And things have all kind of migrated into other platforms. And that's going to continue.
Todd got together with, or Tom got together with Craig, and
they're drinking Mai Tais on an island somewhere with McAfee. Yeah, I got it.
They're just hanging out. They're like, we invented the internet, and they're good. Those websites are still running. But exactly, yeah, MySpace, then it became Facebook, and then it was Twitter, and then Instagram, and then now TikTok, and Pinterest was somewhere in there. And so the platform you were saying will always change.
Always change. So I don't think it's a platform play. I think it's a partnership play. I think we got to bridge the gap between marketer and client and be partners with our clients. And that's the differentiator. And the conversation needs to go there. I'm proof.
This is next level, guys. So what Todd is saying here is, like, if you consider yourself small compared to your bigger competitors, the opportunity exists here in not just selling impressions, clicks, or conversions, but and knowing having the entire process, being able to, like, measurably track revenue and produce revenue all the way through the entire process. That makes a ton of sense. And that is how you would beat larger competitors that are just selling the click, just selling the impressions, or just selling the leads. Is, can you sell the actual conversion and revenue? That makes you stand out. That's freaking brilliant. I love it, my man. Todd, we appreciate you being here, buddy. Thanks so much for your time. We're going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode, guys. If this was helpful, again, drop a comment down below. Let us know what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. When you leave a comment, you're more likely to remember it. It'll also help this reach more people who this could impact. Thanks again, buddy. Until next time, guys, this is the Crazy Good Marketing Show. We will see you again on Monday with another influencer with another crazy good marketing strategy for you guys. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, D. Thanks, guys.